That's the question I pose to the listening audience. Did he roll her up into a carpet? Did he take her and put a sheet over her and throw her over his shoulder and put her in the car? Did he take her out to the car alive and kill her in the car? We don't know.
Well, it's obvious. What we do know is that the statement the mother gave to the press about seeing the daughter the morning she disappeared is all lies.
It's all lies. And that's why we're all outraged at why. Why isn't she not hogtied and dragged in and locked up? But we don't know the specific. And we know this as investigators. There has to be more in place than just suspicion. Hey, you can't lock somebody up because they're acting suspiciously and things don't add up. You need to have those dots connected. And they apparently don't have those dots connected.
At one point, while detectives were questioning the mother of 13-year-old Madeline Soto, she described the couple's sleeping arrangements with the teen.
Get ready to throw up in your mouth because it's coming, folks.
Jennifer Soto stated while they were together, Jennifer, Stephan, and Madeline would either all sleep in the same bed or Madeline would sleep with her when Stephan was not there.
When asked if it was normal that Stephan and Madeline would sleep together without her being there, remember, he worked nights. She didn't even attend her birthday party, even though it wasn't Madeline's birthday on Sunday night, but her mom went to work. And when I questioned that, when I said on February 25th that her mom couldn't take the day off to celebrate her daughter's 13th birthday, people came at me and attacked me like, how dare you? People sometimes can't take off from work. Well, guess what? When it comes to your own flesh and blood, you make arrangements to take off from work and you tell your employer, my family is important to me. I want to be there for my daughter's 13th birthday.
And since this wasn't her birthday, actual birthday anyhow, then you plan it on a day that you're off.
It's just, again, horrific to hear it, but it solidifies the inconsistencies in the stories that they told to the media, in the actual real story of what happened to our victim
This
here.
case is becoming more disturbing as we move closer to trial.
It is, and it's important to point out up front, Stearns is the only one charged with sexual assaults and murder. Madeline Soto's mother has not been charged in connection with any of the crimes that her boyfriend is facing.
I mean, I don't have girls, but like even with my own boys, they would come in the bed and, run in when they were little, they would get scared in the middle of the night. We'd let them. But, at 10 or 12 or 13 years old, I'm not sleeping in the same bed with my boys. I'm just not doing it. It's inappropriate. She signed off on it. She said it was okay. She's got a lot of explaining to do.
And as you'll see right now, she provides details that help police build their case. Documents obtained from the state attorney's office reveal that Stephan Stearns had an on-again, off-again 7-year relationship with Madeline Soto's mother. Those documents also indicate the pornographic images allegedly found on Stearns' cell phone date back at least 2 years and depict vile acts of sexual abuse. In March, detectives provided sworn statements of their discussions with Jennifer Soto and Stephan Stearns.
So she knew something was up because mysteriously, the very next day, Madeline Soto goes and disappears in the middle of the night sometime. We don't know what time, but we know that she never made it out of that house alive. And my curiosity says, how did Stephan Stearns get her out of that house?
SG News continues to pour through new documents and review audio from accused killer and child rapist Stephan Stearns.
That last little bit of information is very important because the sheriff of Orange County said after Stearns was arrested and charged with sex crimes involving Maddie, that video showed Stearns tossing Maddie's backpack into a dumpster at the apartment complex where they lived the morning that she disappeared.
Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster.
According to this newly released report, security camera videos showed Stephan Stearns' vehicle exiting the complex with a female wearing a green sweater in the front passenger seat. The female was slumped over to her left, which is an abnormal way for a person to be seated in a vehicle.
How do they determine that that's an abnormal way? Because, you worked in crime scene, you processed over 2,500 death scenes, maybe more, This is a bold statement just based on what they saw in a video. You wouldn't lean into the left towards the person who's driving the car. You're driving a car, someone's gonna lean to the right, not to the left. So I'm just trying to visualize this in my mind. And we talked with Barbara Butcher when we did the Summer Wells sleeping on the milk jugs in the back of her mom's car, and she was able to tell us just by looking at that photo, not definitively, but she was able to tell us with a high percentage of whether she was alive or dead at that time. So I think we will consult with Barbara Butcher and at least talk to her about that.
But I guess he looked at it, determined it was an unusual position for the neck to be in if, in fact, the person was sleeping, and thus, based upon the totality of circumstances here, him throwing away the backpack, the computer, and all that stuff in the dumpster, and knowing what he knows. Now, remember, he also would find out, they'd find the body. Okay, right. A couple of days later. Also, if you remember, just at the end, it wasn't highlighted there, but based upon that information there, he went and got a warrant for the house.
You would just naturally lean against the door.
At any point while you were driving to the school, did you make a U-turn?
Yeah, I tried to sell her on McDonald's one more time because I was still kind of hungry, but at that point she was also just wanting me to get to school.
Okay, where
right back to that.
Where did you make that U-turn at?
Actually, the school park, not the school parking lot, the church parking lot. I pulled into that, turned around and pulled back out. Did a U there and went back to the McDonald's. He still wasn't having it. That's when we came back. See, the McDonald's is on the same town loop or town center. It connects to the same road that the
that the school's on.
Yeah, so it's like a straight shot.
So some people are saying he used the VPN to share files of Maddie. We don't know. And if he did, that would help. That would help only protect him from any hackers coming into his network, but it's not going to stop his Google downloads. And in his Google downloads, he didn't delete, according to the investigation. Is sensitive evidence like this strategically buried for the majority of the investigators so they themselves don't have to get traumatized? How do they deal with it all? It's a good question.
No, it's not blurred for the majority of the investigators. Everybody has a breaking point, so it's up to the individual investigators to understand when they're suffering post-traumatic stress disorder from their work, and to seek help where possible. And there's no shame in this. We can only carry so much weight before we break. So everybody has to understand what's the right way to deal with it and what's the wrong way to deal with it. And that's why in law enforcement we have such a high rate of divorce and we have such a high rate of suicide. So there's no shame in seeking help.
Because there's so much misinformation that's out there. And there's so many people that are talking out their ass about this case. Know that Ed and I, we feel good after we do these shows because we give it to you from a police detective's perspective. And we're not sugarcoating anything. We're not creating drama or sensationalism. We're talking to you about how these investigations go and what the potentiality is for the future. So if you like that, this is a place for you.